it's Liddy and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing our favorite GL series, so Girls Love. I love reading GL series because I feel like there's a lot of amazing GL series out there, but not a lot of people talk about them, or we don't get much exposure to them as much as some other series, and I'm here to talk about some of my favorites and recommend them to you guys. So of course the first one I had to recommend was She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat. I talk about this all the time. It's one of my favorites for a reason, and it just talks about a lot of different themes that I think are really important in today's society. So I really definitely implore you to try this one if you haven't already. It's really sweet, it's really cute. I have a lot of love for these characters and I think you will definitely enjoy this one. But it's basically about two people who live in the same apartment complex. This is Nomoto, this is Kasuga. Kasuga-san has a really big appetite and Nomoto has a really small appetite, but she loves to cook, and as the title suggests, and Kasuga loves to eat. And they cross paths one day when Nomoto asks Kasuga to try some of her food, and then their relationship and friendship develops from there, and obviously a really cute relationship starts to blossom between them. They start to discover their sexuality as well as their positions within society, because there's a lot of talk about being a woman in this society as well, where a lot of the time you're seen as a caregiver. So whether you are a wife or whether you are a mother, like a daughter within a household, there's a lot of themes there where women are expected to fit a certain mold and take care of people in their lives, such as family. You know, as a daughter, you have to take care of your sick parents. As a woman, wife, you need to become a wife and take care of your husband. And as a mother, you need to have kids and take care of your kids. So there's a lot of societal issues that this manga explores, and I really like that because, you know, nowadays women can be whatever they want. They don't have to get married, they don't have to have children. You know, you can explore loads of things, and you know, you can expand in your career because now there is not a specific mold that you have to, you know, fit into anymore as a woman. And I really relate to stories that happen in here, so that's why I really highly recommend this one if you're a woman and you want to. There's a lot of things that you can relate to in here, but also just, you know, asexuality representation and just a lot of talk about eating as well, and certain different ways in which people have appetites. Talks a lot about that as well, whether you eat a lot, whether you eat a little bit, you know, it doesn't really matter as long as, you know, you have a healthy relationship with food, things like that. It's really good, highly recommend it. I love food-based manga as well, so obviously this one was a big hit for me. But as always, I've talked about this a lot, so check out all the other videos that I've talked this about. I talk in depth about this series a lot, so you'll find that somewhere on my channel. But the next one I want to talk about is How to Be a Relationship. This one is not your typical, I guess, GL series, but it basically focuses on two college students who start off as friends, and then one of them, Miwa, this is Miwa, the short haired girl, and this is Saeko. They both are friends, and then one day Miwa gets confessed to by a guy, and then Sayako sees that, and then Miwa actually rejects him, and then finds out that she is actually only interested in women. And then Sayako's like, hey, I'm also only interested in women, why don't we try dating? So they end up starting to date when they were friends, so they have no specific romantic feelings for each other, but they just decide to date because they both like women. And then obviously it explores relationships that don't start off with love and affection in that way, and so you see all the difficulties that they go through and just parts of the relationship where they find out they both aren't compatible with each other. And it's quite a different take on a story because it definitely doesn't focus on a romance in itself. It mostly focuses on the nuances of a relationship, differing relationships, that struggles between relationships between two women, specifically within the society, and just kind of the internal struggles that both these people have where they were once friends, but they just kind of forced a relationship with each other just because they found out they liked, the same sex. I think it really focuses on a lot of realistic depictions of those type of relationship, and it isn't a happy, fun, old story in my opinion. It's not like fluffy, romantic. It's not anything like that. It definitely focuses on being realistic and talking about a lot of the nuances of a relationship. Spoiler warning, but I've never really read a manga where two people are together or their romance starts as one people and then later it ends up focusing on them being with other people. So that was really unique to me. I've never read something like that before, so it was really interesting. But I'm really happy with the way how this has progressed. I'm up to volume 10, which is the latest volume out, and they're both with two different other people, and they're also like exploring their relationships with these new people, and it's really good. I think you can see how much more happier they are with other people than they were with each other, and they do remain friends as well, so it explores a lot of that, and I just really like it. I am Team Cycle. There is a little bit of iffiness with Miwa in my opinion. She is a little bit annoying and she's quite aggressive in terms of the way she expresses her feelings and emotions, and I feel like sometimes she can be a little bit manipulative in a way, but I think that's just it shows like very fleshed out characters and they're not like one-dimensional, which I really appreciate. So I really like this, really recommend it as well. And the next series that I really recommend and really, really love is The Summer You Were There. I talked about this in my mid-year book freakout tag and how much I enjoyed this series. This was up there for me with She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat. It's so good. It's definitely not one for everyone because it kind of focuses on a little bit more of a tragic theme. It delves on like past traumas as well. So it definitely isn't for everyone, but I really enjoyed it. And I also thought that I wouldn't really enjoy this either when I initially read the synopsis, but I tried it and I read all 4 volumes and then I read the rest online, and it was an amazing experience. It was such a good journey. I wish that I could experience this all over again for the first time because I enjoyed it that much. But it's basically about a girl, Shizuku, and I've talked about this in my mid-year book freakout tag as well. If you want to check that out, I'll link it somewhere in this video. But it's basically about this girl, Shizuku, who is writing a novel for herself, and then she's about to throw it away when she bumps into Saori, her classmate, and Saori picks up her novel and is like, oh, this looks fun, I'm going to take it and read it. And then she just walks off with it, and Shizuku is like, what the heck just happened? And then later on they meet at the classroom, and then Kaori's like, I absolutely loved your novel, it was amazing, when are you going to write your next one? And Shizuku is like, I'm never going to write again, so that was the last thing you'll ever read. And then Kaori is like so sad and is like, why can't you write more? And Shizuku's like, what would I even write about? And then Kaori comes up with an idea where she is like, hey, why don't we try dating for the summer, and then you can start writing a new novel about our relationship and our love and our romance and stuff like that. And then Shizuku is like, what the heck, that's so weird. But that's kind of where their relationship starts off, and they kind of go on dates and explores loads of different themes. But there is like a kind of hidden secret between both of them. Shizuku has some type of trauma which is kind of sprinkled around the story, where you kind of get hints of what it could be, or like just her dealing with that and the effect it has on her. And then you obviously find out later, but Kaori also has a secret that you will later find out as well, and it's just really heartbreaking. It just got me really emotionally invested. As I said in my mid-year book freakout tag, I was an emotional wreck when this ended. It was so good, and if you're looking for a really emotionally charged story or an emotionally charged GL series, definitely check this one out. It's so good. I can't wait for the new volumes to release so I can have the whole series on my shelf because it is really good. Really recommend this one. So the next one is Moon on the Rainy Night. This one is also a high school GL series, and this one is really, really good as well. It is really heartwarming and sweet, and the story, the art is just stunning, honestly. Let me show you some of the art panels. So here is one of the main characters. So this story focuses on two high school students, Kanon and Saki. Kanon is the one with the black hair. She is actually deaf, but she can kind of hear in like low sound areas, and also when people mouth, she can read lips, so she doesn't really use sign language, and no one really around her uses sign language either. And then she meets Saki, who is, you know, one of her classmates, and when she joins the new school, the teacher kind of asks Saki to look after Kanon, but so Saki kind of obliges and then starts trying to befriend Kanon. But then Kanon is a bit like offstandish. She doesn't really want anyone to become friends with her due to some of the things that happened in her past. But later on, she does open up to Saki, as Saki is quite persistent in becoming her friend, and they start a really, really lovely friendship together. And Saki actually has a past where she realizes that she likes girls, she doesn't like guys, and she starts to also develop feelings for her friend Kanon, and she's basically struggling with that fact and also trying to hide it from Kanon, because obviously she wants to continue being her friend and she doesn't want anything to affect their relationship or friendship. As you do in high school, you know, it's so hard to deal with those kind of things, especially with coming out and also with dealing with people judging you, and you don't want your friend to find out and judge you for it. So it kind of delves into that. And also Saki is playing piano, and then Kanon's mother is actually her new piano teacher, so they end up getting close that way, because after she plays her piano lesson, she ends up going to see Kanon in like this soundproof room which they hang out in. And yeah, it focuses on their high school life together, and it's really cute, it's really sweet. I think it doesn't romanticize deafness at all. It really shows you like the struggles of it and like the nuances of like being deaf, especially when they talk about things like going to the movies, like how is that like, and also how she deals with being in like the school music band and things like that. And it's just really good. And I heard from people that this is quite good representation from what I know. So yeah, I can definitely recommend this one for you to try out. So the next one is Yuri Is My Job. I really love this manga and have read up to volume 4 of this and really enjoying it and excited to continue, but not a lot of people talk about this one and recommend it. A lot of people find the main character Hime annoying, but when I read it, I didn't really find it that annoying. I really found her endearing, and as the story goes along and progresses, you actually find out a lot about both of these characters and just why they are the way they are. And I love that they have a lot of depth to their characters. But it basically focuses on Hime, who is a really sweet girl. She is really cute, so everyone thinks she's super innocent, super nice. Everyone wants to be friends with her. She's really popular. But she kind of has a facade where she tries to be people pleaser and tries to be the person that everyone really likes, because she has a goal one day to marry rich and then just do nothing in her life. And not gonna lie, it's kind of relatable. She ends up bumping into this girl, and then the girl ends up falling and breaks her arm, and then the girl who broke her arm is like, hey, I can't go to work now, so because you broke my arm, so you have to come and help me at my workplace. And then so she gets dragged to this like cafe, and it has like this kind of role play going on where they are students of a academy called Leap Girls Academy, and then they have kind of like sister relationships with each other, and kind of does like Yuri like acting. So it's kind of like Ouran High School Host Club, but like Yuri. So she ends up becoming part of that. And then she ends up meeting this girl Yano there, who is also part of that cafe, and finds out that they actually have a past with each other. And then it kind of opens up their, past and their previous relationship with each other that they had back in the day. And so it's really fun. Like, it just focuses on everything that goes on within this cafe, and also the relationships that go on with a bunch of the girls, and how they kind of the way they act in front of the customers to obviously draw them in. And it's just really fun time. and it has like quite a lot of like deep backstory, which I didn't expect. There's a lot of backstories between the different characters, and it also has a lot of characters that it focuses on. I'm really enjoying it for sure, and I definitely recommend you trying it. In my opinion, I feel like it's very underrated. And the last one I want to talk about, which is one of my favorites, but I am more hesitant to actually recommend this to people because the themes in there is something that I don't condone and wouldn't like openly recommend, but I want to talk about it, and it's My Girlfriend's Not Here Today. As you can hear from the title, you can tell it's already a little bit sus, and it is. Like, the characters' motives and the way they act are awful. They are awful human beings. A lot of them try to justify it to themselves why they're doing some things, and in my opinion it's not justifiable, but it's one of those things where it's so entertaining that you can't help continuously reading and wanting to find out what happens, because the story is so gripping and it kind of so fast paced that you just read until the very end, and then you're like, I want to know more. I want to know what's going to happen to these characters. And that's kind of how I felt about My Girlfriend's Not Here Today. And I don't think it's a very good representation of a GL relationship. I don't think it's a good representation for the genre in itself, but I just wanted to talk about it because it is my favorite, one of my favorites. There's warnings about this, I would say, going into it. It's just fun for me to read. It's like a guilty pleasure, so that's why I put it at the end. And it's definitely not something that I would, wholeheartedly recommend people to read as a good Yuri series, but this is my top favorites, so that's why I included it. But there is a little bit of spoiler on this synopsis in my opinion, so if you don't really want to be spoiled for like the main themes, I'll put a spoiler tag here first. So it basically follows a girl called Uni. She's pretty much like the main protagonist of the story, and she has a girlfriend in the same school as her who's part of the basketball club, and her name is Nanase, and she is very needy, super needy, attention seeking. She is very clingy as well, but Nanase is very cool and also is very focused on her club activities because she loves it, she enjoys it. And obviously normal people have hobbies that they enjoy other than solely on their relationship. So Uni is very possessive, she doesn't like that, and also Nanase wants to hide their relationship, so it's very much making her insecure. And then she posts about all her relationship stuff online to this like Twitter account, like Twitter equivalent on this manga, and she talks about her relationship really openly. And someone actually from her school has found Uni's account and is following it, and so knows all about her like secret relationships and stuff. And that person is Taki, who is one of her classmates. And then Taki basically starts to get closer to Uni and starts to try and cause issues between her and Nanase to kind of insert herself within this relationship by being very manipulative and also kind of doing some blackmail as well in between, and also trying to emotionally manipulate Uni because Uni is obviously very emotionally attached to being like wanted and also being like the center of attention, and Taki gives her that, whereas her girlfriend Nanase doesn't. And so Taki is basically on a mission. I don't really know exactly what her motive is or why she does it, but she is a really like strange character because we don't know what she is exactly thinking, but the way she goes about it is really manipulative and scheming. So it ends up basically focusing on a cheating plotline, and it's definitely, as I said, not for everyone. It's definitely something that personally I also would never enjoy, but somehow I enjoyed this and it was a train wreck for sure. Yeah, I would say it's entertaining. So if you're like interested in it, I would try it out, but it's definitely not something that I would openly recommend to people or outright recommend saying like, oh, it's really good, you need to try it, because it has themes that is not great, and I know that, but I enjoy it. But art style is really nice as well. You gotta see. So you can see the art style is like really nice, really pretty. They're drawn really nicely, and it's also the general drawings can be a little bit suggestive, so if you're not into that as well, and it is rated warning, it has like a warning explicit content advisory, and I would definitely say yes, be warned of that. But I really liked it, I really enjoyed it. It was so enjoyable to me that I had to put it in this video, even though it's not probably something that I would recommend if you're like into toxic dramatic stories that are toxic, full of red flags, full of awful people that try to justify themselves but it's not justifiable. Then definitely check this out. I don't know if it will be for everyone, but I really enjoyed it. These were some of my favorite Yuri series or GL series. If you're interested in getting more recommendations of GL series, definitely let me know down below, and let me know that you enjoyed the video as well, because sometimes recommendation videos don't do as well, which is a little bit sad because I love talking about series that I love. So definitely give this a thumbs up because I really like filming these and also want to share with you everything that I love. But definitely let me know if you've tried any of these. Give me your recommendations as well down below, because I love trying new series all the time. And of course, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!